Hi there. Thanks for joining me today. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Catherine. I make cool journals out of old books. And yes, I am still working. I'm still doing miscellaneous work on Miscellaneous Works, which is actually the actual title of this old book, 1880. So I am coming very close to the end of her being ready to go. And you know what? I know it's taken me, pardon me, I think I'm starting to get a cold. I did a COVID test this morning and it was negative. But I don't know. I've heard you can develop allergies at any time in your life. So I have to wonder, because I've felt this way for a few days now. It doesn't seem to be getting worse, but it doesn't seem to be going away. Anyhow, off topic. Just in case I cough, I've got to stop apologizing for it. So I'm just putting on some little finishing details. I want to tuck some little things into pockets and tuck spots. And then I do think this little beauty is ready to go. I'm happy with my pinch there, because it means the new owner has plenty of room to keep putting more things in. And also I've left plenty of room for writing in. This just seems like such an ideal book to write about your miscellaneous thoughts, it seems to me. Now, something I did back here. Oh, here's something funny. If you watched Saturday's book haul, these torn up papers that have French typing on them were inside one of the books that I bought. So, you know what? I tucked them behind this little cluster that I made. Now, right here, there was a tiny little tear, and it was a little bit thin. It was as if this page at some point was stuck to the original end paper, which happens. You know, sometimes people are eating their lunch while they're reading. So I thought, what would the original owner have done? And I taped some. Actually, this is genuine old yellowed cellophane tape. Sometimes I use faux cellophane tape. And in fact, there is some here in this book. I'm going to fold these, and I'm going to fold them slightly askew so that it just looks more fun. And then I'm going to tuck them in behind there. Now, I want to put one more pocket in. There we go. I usually try to have at least one pocket per signature, which is why I leave my signature tabs at the top right till the very end. It's the last thing that comes off before I do my flip through, before I record it. And so I was keeping track of my all my signatures. There's 11 signatures in this book. And what I've done is the big check marks mean that there's a big full pocket, and the tiny check marks mean that there's a little tuck spot. So by a little tuck spot, I consider this a tuck spot. In reality, I believe it can hold just as much as a pocket does. And it adds a little variety and fun. So I still count that, but I still like to know the difference just for my own fussiness. Anyhow, so I have got plenty of pockets and tuck spots, except I have nothing in the final signature. And I've had this for a little while. I forget what I even used the other side of it for. What it was it was a paper bag. I purposefully crinkled it up, and then I got distress ink, and I I re-crinkled it and I just distress inked where the tops of the crinkles, which gives it that almost, I don't know, it has a reptilian leathery kind of look. And then I Mod Podged over it. And I thought, I'm going to use this. Because so far the pockets that I have put in are a regular pockety pocket. I actually put a few in this time, and it's seldom that I put in a pocket that has all three sides glued down, but I've done it this time. So I thought this one needs a side pocket for signature 11. And I needed to decide where I'm going to put it. I usually try and make use of the pages that are busy pages. Where's a busy page? Here's a busy page. Okay, so I've got either this side or this side to do a full-length tuck spot. So what I mean by that is I want to put it in here, and things can get tucked in this way. So I think I don't want it this wide. I like when if it's this wide, sometimes things can get tucked in that can get lost in behind it. So I'm going to take this back a bit. To about there. I think that will still leave me a little left for another book, another time. And that's raw, so I want to ink that. And I think I know I want to put this on the presentation side of this page, because then whatever gets tucked in, if it's cool ephemera, it'll look cool. And I want to put a notch in it. So I'm going to figure out the center approximately. Doesn't need to be perfect. So it's 8.5, so that means the center would be 4 1/4. So there's my center. Then I need my circle punch. This big guy. And I'm just going to take a notch out of it, and I'm just going to guesstimate. There we go. So that looks nice, and I guess I shouldn't have put this away because I need it. Because that's raw. There we go. I feel like sewing around the edge, and then I'm going to leave it as is, and if the new owner wishes to collage on it, there's another nice surface for them. So I think that will look nice right there, and things can go in. So I'm going to pause, and I'm going to sew around the edge in a messy, mixed up, straight and zigzag kind of style. So hold on. Okay, so when I wasn't kidding, I wanted it messy, I wanted a bold thread statement. I think I got it. So I'm just going to smooth this out inside. although it won't show, I like to think that maybe it will help it lie a little flatter. And then I want to pop these through, these loose threads, and tie them off. But you know me, I'm going to leave them long. New owner can trim them if they don't like them. I like them. Reminds me of Shanuki art. I think she's the queen of tangled threads. Boy, she can make them look good. Alright. I'm very careful with my threads now because puppies don't need that in their digestive tract. Alright, so one more. One more. There you go. Got hubby home today. It's a holiday up here in Canada. Slowly, more and more things are open. There once was a time when I was a child, a holiday meant everything was closed. Everything. Everything except the hospital and some drugstores. But otherwise, everything was closed. But now, slowly, more and more things. I might trim those a little bit more. Come on. Well, that wasn't neat and tidy, but oh well. Character, right? So we have the major grocery stores closed, major stores closed, like our Walmart will be closed. Department type stores will be closed. Interestingly, at least for the Toronto area, there are a few shopping centers that are considered, get this, tourist attractions. And they're allowed to stay open and run business as usual on holidays because tourists not only come to shop, but they just come to see the mall, such as the Eaton Center. So they're allowed to be open, but a regular little mall, like we have a tiny mall in my town. It actually makes me laugh that it gets called a mall. It's so small. It won't be open. They'll take a day off. Banks are closed, libraries are closed, post office is closed. In my town, a lot of the restaurants will even close. The big box restaurants, such as, McDonald's, Wendy's, Boston Pizza, that sort of thing, they'll be open. But the little privately owned restaurants will usually take advantage and have a well-earned day off there. So I spread out that glue because this is old paper, 1880, and I want minimal glue showing through on this side, and I think I'm happy with how that turned out. Especially this is acetone based, so not as much absorbs into the paper, and plus I use threads. So when I use threads, when I've got mixed media, I usually will pull out the Fabri-Tac 3-in-1. This one's 3-in-1. I like how that turned out. Now I think what I'm going to do now, so let's see, I'll show you. Ta-da! So I can put a great big check mark for pocket, or signature number 11. And I think that is enough pockets. So the next thing I will be doing for miscellaneous is probably just filling in the little tuck spots. I have a few more tea-dyed pages like this that I just want to do something. This is just stenciling. And you can get some pretty cool little border stencils at Dollar Tree. And I love them because they stick down, they're quite reusable. And as you know, for my gear, I do not mind purchasing my gear new. It's nice when I can get it secondhand, but I don't beat myself up if I buy gear, the tools, new. But when I make my books, I really like it to be the papers, the books, the ribbons, the laces to be from a used source. So see, like that, in a way it's a pocket because it holds just as much. I could put that in a pocket as easily as I can tuck it behind that stamp. See what I mean? So I'm going to end here because I think what I will do now is go through, do a few little details, fill in all these little tuck spots that need tucking. This little, she needs something to go in there. I love this. You know what? I got to show you this before I go because I'm not going to have time. When I do the flip through, I'm not going to have time to show you this. This is an actual recipe card that I found. I love when I find old full recipe boxes that housewives from the 50s and 60s and even 70s would write on recipe cards and keep it in a box in their kitchen. And some of them, my mother included, would take the time to type them out. And I love this one, Lois Johnstone, because if you look here, at first I noticed it said favorite meat loaf. And at first I thought it said loaf, and it says foaf, which explains to me why she started over again. But somehow it ended up back in the box. So maybe she was going to use the other side. Maybe she was thrifty enough that she would put a recipe on the other side. But my first giggle was it said 1 pound hamburger. And I thought, well, that's the easiest recipe ever. There you go, meatloaf, 1 pound hamburger, throw it in the oven. But I figured, you know what, Lois must have been American because here in Canada, that's not how we spell favorite. Many of our words are still spelled the British way, so our favorite is O-U-R-I-T-E. So I thought maybe Lois was a lovely lady like her. She looks a little bit like what they imagine Laura Secord looked like. Anyhow, I thought that was cute. And I grunged it up a little bit more, but for the most part, that was the way I found it inside the recipe tin. So that was so short and sweet today. So thanks for joining me, and probably the next time you see Miscellaneous Works might be tomorrow or the day after, and hopefully it'll be a flip through, and then she'll be available in my Etsy shop. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.